Obama was labeled a war criminal by Harvard Political Review. So this is something kind of interesting because you wouldn't expect a university, to go after Obama. Maybe it's a little too soon, but maybe things are moving in a direction I didn't expect a little faster than I thought. But they labeled Obama a war criminal. And rather than revering, at this point, it's always, oh, he was the greatest president ever. Everybody loves him. But instead, they're saying that it's because he carried out so many drone strikes. They said President Obama went on to approve more drone strikes in his first year in office than President Bush carried out during his entire administration. They said this is, he's the alleged peacemaker because in 2009, the Norwegian Nobel Committee decided that the Nobel Peace Prize would go to Harvard Law School graduates. So he's even one of their own. Barack Obama, they gave him the Nobel Peace Prize, was nominated, and he received it. So they're saying that, well, actually, he's a big war criminal because he did all of these massive drone strikes. This to me was no surprise. It's a surprise that Harvard Political Review would label their guy this is a group of students at Harvard. Students tend to be very liberal. A lot of them right now are very anti-Trump, anti-Republican. So it's really surprising that they would then go and label Obama at this point a war criminal when Biden's already in trouble, and now you've got Obama, and so that's kind of something somewhat surprising about this release. But it's really not that surprising when you think about what's happened. I kind of want to spend a moment just talking about how our warfare has changed in the United States. And this has changed under the Obama administration. Obama and his team, when they were assessing foreign policy, they decided that they would move to a new strategy, which is this over the horizon. It's called over the horizon type warfare. And they sort of developed it under the Obama administration, where rather than having boots on the ground, they would move to drone strikes. So it's no surprise why then under the Obama administration, there would be a rise in drone strikes. When the Bush administration, we had boots on the ground in Iraq, and we were invading, we're going into Afghanistan, we're going into Iraq. And so that is the old school warfare. The Obama administration, and then subsequently, a lot of those war hawks stayed along. The Defense Department, or I'd say the defense contractors really infiltrated the government, and they continued to push for that during the Trump administration and now even under the Biden administration. However, under the Trump and Biden administration, we don't really have the full details, because under Obama, at least we can find out how many drone strikes and where. Under Trump, we only know a little bit because he soon pretty much put it all behind closed doors and basically said that there would no longer be transparency when it comes to drone strikes. So we don't know how many drone strikes were carried out under the Trump administration. We do know that he did more in Somalia in his first year than Obama did. We know that Obama did a lot, and that he was droning way more areas than Bush or any other president at that point. We don't know also how many drone strikes Biden has implemented as well, because Biden didn't really reverse the Trump era rules of keeping the drone strikes under closed doors. We don't really know at this point what is going on. There's a lot of ethical problems with that, obviously, because drone striking, now a lot of people might say, well, this is good, fewer boots on the ground, so it's a good strategy. And this is what the Obama administration wanted to do, was move towards this new over-the-horizon strategy of warfare, because they thought Americans cannot stomach boots on the ground, right? Americans want to see fewer Americans killed, fewer Americans returning in caskets. And so what we're going to move to is this over-the-horizon warfare style, and just bomb the crap out of places using drones. The problem with that is when you cannot look your enemy in the eye, on the battlefield back in the olden days, you had to actually confront the person you're about to kill, look them in the eye. That gives them an opportunity to maybe drop their weapon and run. It gives them an opportunity to, or confront you and try to fight you to the death, or they could surrender. There's humanness when you actually have to look at the person you're about to kill. You have to realize you are killing a human being. And drone warfare, you don't have to do any of that. You're basically stabbing a person in the back. As we know, that's unethical. Stabbing a person in the back when you're at war is a war crime. If they're running away from you, you cannot kill them. That's a war crime. But in drone warfare, anything goes. They could just be at a wedding. They could be at a funeral. They could be just hanging out in their yard, children playing, and they could be droned by just some guy sitting in command saying, "Oh, let's get them. Drop the drones." So we see this transition into this over-the-horizon warfare. This happened under the Obama administration. A lot of the people that were advising him then went on to create this company called West Exec Advisors. There's a lot of other advisory companies. This one in particular was incredibly important because West Exec Advisors is where a lot of these former government employees went that were working in the Obama administration. You're talking like the Undersecretary of State, the Underdepartment of Secretary of Defense, like Michelle Flournoy there. And they went on to create this. Then what happened, and they were the masterminds behind this idea of over-the-horizon warfare and moving into big tech and big tech surveillance and big tech warfare. They're the ones that help get contracts to the government from Amazon and Google. That's this West Exec Advisor company. And they're not a lobbying firm, so they don't register as lobbyists. They're just advisors. And because of that, they don't have to tell us their client list. Because of that, they don't have to tell us about who got meetings with who and how all that went down and what they were discussing because they're not registered lobbyists. So they're under the radar completely. What's interesting about that company is that then when Biden got into office, a lot of the players that created West Exec Advisors that were in the Obama administration then went on to work for the Biden administration and are currently at the Biden administration. Michelle Flournoy is one of the main West Exec Advisor founders, but she founded that company alongside Antony Blinken, who is now the Secretary of State, and she stayed at West Exec Advisors. You've also got Avril Haines, who is, she's with the Biden administration. She was with West Exec Advisors. You've got what's her face, Jen Psaki. You've got Jake Sullivan. A lot of these guys came out of West Exec Advisors, and now they're working for Biden. And so what we can figure is because the Obama administration droned the hell out of places, Trump then put everything under shield. We don't really know how many drones happened under Trump. But now you've got the Biden administration with a lot of those same people who are all pro-droning, who kind of came up with the strategy and started it. They're now back with the Biden administration. But we don't have full transparency, so we can only assume that Biden is maybe droning the hell out of places just like Obama was. And maybe in the future will be labeled a war criminal, not that he'll really fully, maybe even know what has happened. He might be like, oh, where's the ice cream? So it's just kind of interesting that Harvard has come out labeling one of their own a war criminal. But really, the interesting part about that also is the fact that we've transitioned into this drone warfare culture, and it has continued, persisted, and under Biden probably is ramped up, but we don't fully know. Now, what we do know, though, is that Biden has tried to mitigate this a little bit. He did come out. I don't know how valuable this actually is, but he reportedly signed some new classified rules that governed the lethal strikes for drones, saying that they absolutely could not target or could not include civilians. So he's trying to mitigate the civilian deaths. But again, it's all classified. It's all under lock and key. We can't really see what is going on when it comes to this new over the horizon warfare. So we may see, the reason why this is so important for all of us to understand is that as we engage in foreign policy around the world, we are going to see fewer Iraqs and fewer Afghanistans. We're not going to see those invasions happening. We're instead going to see, we're not going to see, because it's under shield, we cannot see an increase in droning. And so we are in a constant state of war, and we're in a constant state of death and destruction of other places around the world, and yet we don't even really fully know where. We don't know what's going on, and it's because the way they've got around this is by removing the boots on the ground, and therefore they can remove accountability to the American people. So it's something to just really keep an eye on and keep aware, continue to be aware of. It's very important to do that. All right. Let me tell you guys about cbdistillery.com. They are giving Rumble viewers an exclusive and incredible offer. If you go to their website, you can pick out any of their really high-quality CBD products. I really like that tincture there that you're looking at. That is their Relief and Relax tincture, and that really does, after a long day, sometimes you just want to grab a glass of wine or whatever. You're going to become an alcoholic. Instead, use this, and it helps give you that relief and that relaxation that you're looking for, but without a lot of those harmful side effects. And CBDdistillery.com, they use only high quality, all natural ingredients, nothing artificial. Everything is just really, truly high quality. They're going to give you up to 50% off anything that you put into your cart if you use the promo code RUMBLE. So go on their site. They've got a lot of different products. You can use them for a variety of different ailments that maybe you want to sleep better. You want to have some relief from aches and pains. Maybe you want to get something for your pet, your elderly pet that is having some arthritis. Whatever it might be, check it all out. Look around. Go to cbdistillery.com. Look around. Put stuff in your cart. You're going to get up to 50% off when you use that promo code RUMBLE. Check it out.